So today let us understand about a very important concept that is all about reproduction. This is a very important concept to be understood. So what is reproduction? It is the ability of any living organism to produce a new individual of its own type is what is called as reproduction. And it is a characteristic feature of all the living organisms, and it is one of the very important life processes. So why it is important? What is the purpose of reproduction among the living organisms? If you have to see, reproduction basically it helps in producing more number of individuals which will be helping in continuation of race. That is, a particular X is existing at one point of time, even that X has to exist after some thousands of years also, and that will happen only through the process of reproduction. One more you have is it creates variations. So there is a process of sexual reproduction which will be creating variations among the offspring that are produced. So it is also responsible to bring about variations in the newly born individuals, and also it will replace worn out individuals. So the total population number will be restored because of reproduction. The worn out individuals, the individuals which are getting killed or which are not existing, to replace all that number also reproduction is helping out. So when it is creating variations, it is actually helping in the process of evolution and adaptation. So this is the important purpose. These are all the different purposes for which the reproduction is serving actually. Then talking about the types of reproduction, reproduction can be broadly divided into two types based on whether there is involvement of the sexes or not. So when you talk about sexes in biology, the sexes are male and female. So this is the symbol which is used for male, and this is the symbol which is used for female in biology. So when there is involvement of sexes, it is called sexual reproduction. When there is no involvement of sexes, that is the parent is called neither a male nor a female. So there is no involvement of sexes, then that type of reproduction is what is called as asexual reproduction. So depending upon whether the sexes are involved or not, the reproduction is of two types, namely asexual and sexual. So talking about the asexual reproduction, only a single parent is involved. And there are no gametes, that is, there are no sex cells which are involved. There is no sperm, no ovum, nor the pollen grains are getting involved in the case of the plants. So there are no gametes that are getting involved. There are no variations that can be found among the newly born individuals. More number of individuals can be produced in the less time, and they will all be identical copies like that of the parent. There will not be any variations that can be found among the offspring. Next, it is an easy way of reproduction. So compared to the sexual method, which takes a longer time, actually, this is a very easy way of reproduction. Usually, it will be found among the less evolved organisms, but also among the highly evolved organisms like plants, we find the asexual reproduction. Talking more about asexual reproduction in the case of plants, when you talk about asexual reproduction in the case of plants, we have two types in that. One is the natural one, and the other one is the artificial one. Naturally, when the asexual reproduction takes place naturally without involvement of any individual, it is called the natural process. So the natural way of asexual reproduction in plants, it is through the leaves, which is found in the case of plants like bryophyllum and begonia. So that in these plants, when a leaf falls on the ground, that will give rise to a new plant. Actually, in the case of bryophyllum, the leaf will be something like this, and these margins, they are called the epiphyllous regions, the epiphyllous bud regions. From here, actually, small plants will come on, when the leaf falls onto the ground. Like this, you can see small plants coming near the margins, which are the epiphyllous bud regions of the bryophyllum. So like this, with the help of a leaf, you are getting multiple plants. So this is the example of a natural propagation through the leaves. Next, it can also happen through the roots naturally. Sweet potato and dahlia. Dahlia flowers you might have seen, mostly like chrysanthemum, they'll be big enough like this, and dark purple color usually, or white color, big sized flowers you can see in the market. So that also gets propagated through the roots naturally. And then when we talk about natural propagation, the most important way is through the stem. Stem of the plants is modified in different ways and is called by different names. So all these are the different names for the stem when they are getting modified in different ways. So we have what are called runners. The example is grass and strawberry. Then we have what are called suckers, which is also a modification of the stem. Example for this is banana and chrysanthemum. Next we have is rhizome. The ginger and turmeric, whatever you see, is a stem modification. Then we have tuber, potato, okay, the regular food what we will be, regular vegetable what we will be consuming rather, okay. And we have the bulbs, that is onion and garlic are the bulbs category of the stem. So you have to remember that potato is a stem, okay. Corn we have is colocasia and gladiolus are the examples. So like this we have, okay, some of the representative examples which are propagated through the respective parts naturally, okay. Artificially also we can, okay, propagate through the plant parts, and the artificial methods include cutting, layering and grafting are the three methods. So what do you think is cutting? So if at all, if you go to any friend's house, okay, if you see some interesting plant there, you'll ask for a small branch from their house, okay, bring it home and then put it in your soil. So after a period of time, roots will develop for the branch whatever you have kept in the soil, and it will grow into a new plant. This is nothing but cutting. So usually rose plant, hibiscus plant, okay, the cuttings will be made and the cut portion will be put in the soil, which will give rise to a new plant. So from the original plant, small cut okay, sections will be taken. When they are put into the soil, they will develop roots and they will develop into, okay, big plants. That is what is called cutting. Layering, you might have seen many of your nanamas or the, okay, elderly people, they might have okay, put something called as antu in Telugu. So what they will do, they will bend one of the branch which is near to the soil and dig a pit in the soil and put that branch in the soil like that and put a stone on the top. So after a period of time, the part of the, okay, plant which has been kept under the soil like that, this will develop roots. Okay, they can cut off this portion and the other portion that is there with the roots, okay, it will develop into a new plant. This is what is called layering. So putting a branch, okay, under the soil like that and putting a stone on the top of that so that it won't come out like that with the pressure. You will just water it for a period of time and roots will develop to the branch which is kept under the soil, under the layers of the soil. So that's why it is called layering. Once it develops the roots, you can cut it off from the main plant and you can develop it into a new plant separately. That is layering, which is found in Nerium and Jasmine. Okay, Nerium is your Ganneru plant. Next we have is grafting. Grafting is very useful technique for the horticultural purposes, okay, for the fruit yielding and the flower based plants, okay. So in grafting what is done, so there will be actually two portions in grafting. One is called the scion and the other one is called the stalk plant. There will be two plants, one is called the scion, other one is called the stalk plant. Stalk plant is the main plant to which good root system is there. These are called the stalk plants. So what they will do is they will select a good stalk plant, they will cut the top portion of the stalk plant and then attach, okay, a graft to this portion. They will attach with the help of a grafting tape, okay. Suppose I have a yellow hibiscus, okay, and I have a white hibiscus. I can grow both of these in one plant. What I'll do is I get the graft or the scion portion of the white hibiscus and attach it to the stalk portion of the yellow hibiscus and then, okay, put a grafting tape around that and continuously water my plant. So after a period of 1 month, for vascularization it takes time. Whatever I have stuck it here, the graft I have put, these both will get annealed and you have a new plant. This is the grafted plant. So this portion will be giving, okay, the white flowers. The bottom portion will be giving yellow flowers. So like this, grafting is a very useful technology actually, which will be helping out in producing different varieties of colored flowers on the same plant. Different varieties of the fruit can be born on the same plant. Like that, people are exploring it to much extent in agriculture particularly. For ornamental purposes, this is very useful technique. Okay, so like this, we have some of the artificial methods and some of the natural okay, methods, asexually, okay, reproducing methods in the case of the plant. So hope you followed. So we will also understand about the sexual reproduction part, how it takes place in the case of plants.